Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Coaching Tips with Ben. I want to start off by saying thank you all so much for the continued support with this series, with the channel in general. The more positive responses I get, the more that you guys let me know that it's been helpful or that you're finding some benefit to this, the more inspired I am to keep making these, and the more excited I get to keep that all going. So keep the comments and the feedback coming. If you enjoy these kind of topics and you think that I'm being helpful in any of this, please share it around and kind of expand that field of that reach and that comprehension. Today what we're going to talk about is perhaps my favorite cue for deadlifting specifically, and it also can really apply to any of the other lifts themselves, but I really do think it helps the most with the deadlift, and it is the idea of having a good, solid, non-compromised start position and then accelerating all the way to the lockout. A lot of the time on the internet I will see people have issues with their lockout where they'll get to the top of the lift in this kind of a position where their legs are locked, their glutes already fired, and they still have this thoracic flexion going on, and they have to do an extension all the way through their abdomen to be able to finish off the lift. And people will see that as being a lockout weakness. And a lot of times the feedback to that, or the fix, is to overload that top half of the movement with block pulls or rack deads, and really focusing on building up the strength of those erectors and the lumbars. I would say that isn't without its merits. I think there are potential benefits to building that strength, but I think a lot of the time the issue is being misdiagnosed, and it really isn't a lack of strength at the lockout, it's a lack of solid, consistent positioning at the start of the lift. And the biggest exercise that I have added in my own lifting and in my clients' lifting to fix that is the pause deadlift, where you break the weight off the floor, pause it for 2 to 4 seconds, and then explode and try to accelerate into the lockout as fast as you can. What this exercise does is it keeps you in that good solid position. It increases the time under tension right at the start of the lift, where most people will yank and get themselves in a bad position. And then it will encourage you to put that acceleration force on the bar throughout the entire thing. A lot of people will talk about getting speed in your deadlifts and it'll help you overcome those stick points. Never sacrifice your positioning for a little bit of speed and momentum at the start, because what's going to happen is that might work on some of your sub-maximal weights, but as soon as you get up to a heavy weight, if you sacrifice that start position, you'll get up to a position that pretty much turns into a biomechanical impossibility unless you have some ridiculous amount of strength. But if you have enough strength to be able to grind those lifts out, why not just start in a better position and use that strength more efficiently and more effectively and pull more weight in the long run. I'm going to have Jess, who's my lovely girlfriend and has agreed to torture herself by filming this and trying not to make me laugh. Move the camera. Thank you, my dear. And I'm going to demonstrate how I do pause deadlifts. You can do this either for conventional or for sumo pulls. But the idea is that you're going to get your position, brace hard, break the weight off the ground, hold it for 2 to 4 seconds, and then you're going to accelerate through the lockout. You see, it's a pretty violent motion, whether the sumo or with the conventional pull. And I usually push my air out really hard to try to emphasize that hip movement and kind of the nature of that acceleration. What this does is it forces you to keep your position consistent and not sacrifice it. If I'm down here in a conventional pull and I get a good setup and I yank the bar like that and sacrifice my spinal neutrality, or if I'm in a sumo position and to get the bar moving, I yank like that and I again sacrifice that start position. Even if I get the weight to here, I'm locked out, but because my spine started in this bad spot, it's stuck here, and I just don't have the ability to do that thoracic extension and finish the weight. It's so much easier to start solid and accelerate through, and that's what you should be thinking. Even if you're not pausing the weight, even if this isn't the accessory to build that kind of understanding and the proprioception of that spot in the lift, you should constantly be thinking, all right, it's moving faster, 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 and speed through the lift. Not yank it off the ground and try to create that momentum speed start. But as soon as you do get it moving, keep putting speed on the bar throughout, and it will help break through all those plateaus and all those stick points. I will include the clips from my last week of deadlifting where I hit a couple of PRs. I'll include some clips of some double pause deads. That's the extension of the pause dead. Once I started fixing that issue, I would pause at the bottom, accelerate to my next stick point, which for me was right above the knee. That's where I would lose position again, and then I would accelerate from that. That's more advanced. I think if you're going to add pause deads into your own lifting, start with something around 60% and 3 to 4 reps per set. Definitely don't do it before your primary deadlift. Do it as a secondary movement, or if you have a second deadlift day, put it as the primary variation on that second day to really build that positioning and increase your awareness of that cue. So that's pretty much all I have to talk about. Go ahead and check out the clips at the end of this video to see these ideas put into motion with some heavier weights and to see some examples of the pause deadlifts. You're going to at least see the 705 set of 4 deadlifts that I did recently and the 715 triple. And I want you to note how the bar is a little bit slow off the ground, but as soon as I get it moving, I'm staying in that solid position. It makes the lockout a breeze, and the weight actually accelerates on the way up. You can see that it moves faster as it goes. Remember that in your own pulling. Stay consistent, be disciplined and patient at the start, and once the bar is moving, put speed on it, accelerate, fire those hips through, and you will see your deadlifts improve. I want to say thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you did get something from it. Again, I'm not like a doctor of exercise science or kinesiology or physiology. I'm just somebody who's had some pretty good luck with this information, and I'm trying to share it with you guys. Do not let me be the only place on the internet you go to find lifting information. There's a lot of awesome, valid resources, and anytime you have something that you're passionate about, you owe it to yourself, in my opinion, to expand your understanding and your knowledge of that topic or thing or whatever it is. Pursue the things you're passionate about, learn as much as you can, become more awesomer. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Enjoy these clips.
Alright, so here we're going to see some clips of some of my deadlifts from this last training cycle, and kind of the things that I'm thinking about with that acceleration. You're going to get to see the positions and then how the bar speeds up. At this point of the training block, I believe I was 4 weeks into my prep, and this is a 665 deadlift for 3 reps, and I attempted a 4th, and right there you saw I sacrificed that start position for a little bit of speed off the ground, and so it moved all right off the ground, but I got to that point where I just couldn't get past it. After that week, I started adding in my double pause deadlifts again, and they were a little bit rough at the start. This is 605 for 5, pretty early in the pause deadlifting cycle, I suppose, but you see that I'm getting the bar off the ground and really focusing on keeping that start position, and then as it moves up, trying to move the bar faster and faster, even with these heavier weights. And it really does carry over. Again, like I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention that take, I think that you should start with a single pause off the ground like that and then accelerate to the lockout. But as you progress, that might start to get too easy, and so you can add a second pause above the knee, and that really does make them a lot more challenging because you don't get to use the momentum that you're then creating with that acceleration, and you have to teach yourself to pull straight through those points. But it is so much easier once you have once you've practiced that and you've built that time under tension at those weak spots. You can just blow right through them and focus on accelerating and putting speed on the bar instead of trying to get speed out of the start. So right there, this is this is me deadlifting 645 in my footy pajamas because swag, y'all. And the positions are still the same. Everything is still, the ideas are being exemplified. This is 10 weeks in, so this is 6 weeks later. 645 for triple, after that 665 triple with the failed 4th. The week after, I had my my hardcore peaking week, and so this is the first set of 685 for a triple out of the 4 sets that I did. and you see that the weight moves, I stay in position, and then try to speed up to the lockout. The week after that, I had 705, and so this is, you're going to see the changes that have been made from the time that I did that 665, where the position is solid at the start, all the way through every single rep, and the speed doesn't slow down. The speed just increases the whole time there. Boom, the lockout, and it's a solid lockout. Hips through, firing those hips through, firing those glutes hard, and it's night and day difference how it has improved. And I can pretty much guarantee that as a result of all the work that I was putting in, especially with the pause deadlifts, that was a huge contributing factor to the way that the deadlift is moving now and how the positioning really has been positively affected. This is a 715 immediately after that 705. I put on 10 more pounds, and this was another lifetime PR. And right there you see that the weight actually does accelerate through. And on that fourth one, I felt immediately like I wasn't going to be in position, and so I just called it good and said it was going to be greedy. But that's what I've been trying to convey. I hope that that has been helpful. Please go ahead, try some pause deadlifts for yourself, add them in, start light, work on those positions, and then work on accelerating through the end of the lift. You will be a better deadlifter for it. I'm not going to guarantee, air quotes, but I'm going to say I feel very strongly and confidently that it will improve your pull. I wish you the best of luck, and let me know down in the comments if it works for you, or if you have any thoughts about this. So thanks again, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.